I'm back with another vlog. Me and my buddy Corbin are at Mandalay Bay for another poker session, a place with a very fancy mini golf course, a place with a big ass aquarium with a really rare shark, and a place with poker being played. But not that much. We literally got into the only game going, which was a 1-2 at 300, and it was like the middle of the day. So this will probably be the only vlog I ever post at Mandalay Bay, so let's see if we can get some cool hands going. First hand, we looked at ace jack of diamonds from the big blind. Corbin opens to 12 from under the gun. I put in the call to a flop of 4-7-5 rainbow. That doesn't help us much. When I check, PC bets are $15. Against a lot of players, you could just let this go, but I need some content, and I think he's very light, as am I here. So I put in the call here, looking to either improve or steal it on a future street. And the future street is the 3 of diamonds. I check again. I think this is a board that favors me a ton as the caller. I'm more likely to have a 6. Very much expecting him to check back, but he doesn't. He continues for $25. I actually think a raise isn't the worst idea ever here because, again, he doesn't have a lot of 6s, although he's capable of having one. We have equity even if we get called, but he always thinks I'm bluffing my ass off. So I think this early in the session, I'm not ready to bring out the punt formation. I just put in the call. The river is the 10 of diamonds. We drill the nuts. And now the question is bet or check. My read on the turn is that he actually is bluffing and is coming in light. So I don't want to bet and give him a reason to fold nothing. I want to put him in a tough spot. So I actually check with the idea that he's light. And eventually he looks at me and says, "Oh, you're right, kid, but I'm not falling for that bullshit," and puts in the check. I flip over the nuts as he flips over ace queen of hearts. Is he ever going to even call a bet? I mean, I know he has showdown value to check behind, but is he calling a bet? I don't know. I think the river check's fine. Let me know. The table kind of sucks ass. Corbin and I decided to play heads up at an almost full ring table as I get ace jack again. Call is open, call the flop bet, and then let it go on the turn. And then we see a guy under the gun open to $10. I'm on the button here with king 9 offsuit, probably behind. Do I care? No. I put in the call, and so does Corbin. 3 ways to a flop of king 10-3. Well, we have top pair with an iffy kicker. What could go wrong? It checks to the pre-flop raiser, and he continues for $10. I'm not going to fold for that price. And Corbin calls as well. 3 ways to a turn of the ace of clubs. Ugh. We now lose to any ace, obviously. Bluffs like ace queen, ace jack, they all get there. Queen jack now makes the nuts. We have basically a bluff catcher. And I'm deciding what I want to do if the pre-flop raiser continues. But Corbin docks into both of us for $45. Interesting. The other guy, after a little bit of tanking, puts in the call, and now I think our hand is just absolutely dust. We have a club in our hand, yes, and do I feel like bluffing on club runouts right now? No, I do not. I put in the fold. I call and open to 15 with 7-8 of hearts. We go multi-way to a flop of 7 jack king with 1 heart. Not the worst thing, not the best thing, probably behind most of the time, and the guy continues for $25. With the idea that we're behind, I don't hate the idea of just folding sometimes right now, but obviously we have a piece of it we could improve, and maybe we're ahead. I call, the other players fold, and we're off to a turn heads up of the king of spades. Very curious to see if he bets I plan on folding, but he checks to me. Now I think this indicates a lot of hands that sometimes bricked, maybe ace queen, ace 10 suited, queens, or jack X. If he's checking a king to me, it seems very unlikely. I think I actually want to try to steal it on the turn here. I know I'm really only repping a king, and that's a little bit thin, but I think this guy's a folder. So I assemble quite a big bet very slowly for 105. Really hoping this one gets through. I think the only real calling hand he's going to have is what combo draws of spades, which are unlikely, and then he has to have a king. Eventually, he doesn't call, which is great, but he rips it all in. My mind is in absolute shambles. Obviously, I cannot call, but we are getting trapped again by another one of these Vegas players. I'm forced to fold, and he doesn't show. But my money says he turned a boat, or has ace-king. Then pick up king-queen. I open to $15 and get 1 call on my left to a flop of 7 ace-queen, all diamonds. Wow, we have a pair in the nut flush draw. My brain is thinking we just have a go hand. I continue for $10 and get raised to 30. Now, I think we're too deep to jam, but as I said, can we put in the fold? I don't think so. I do actually want to raise, but I don't think we're deep enough to jam. A call is probably the best option, as I don't think he ever has any bluffs here. He never has a set outside of 7s. I think he's going to show us a 7 suited, pocket sevens or a flush a lot of the time actually looking at this board. But in real time, I just realized, oh my god, I have a pair in the nut flush draw. I can't go anywhere. I give him the main click to 75, which does not make a lot of sense. And let's just see how quickly it explodes. Re-raise from Jackson. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, I can't fold. God damn it. You're ahead, but I have a great hand. Oh. Flush. Flush.
No more action, just a heads up now.
We can keep it as it is. We don't need any more diamonds.
We need a diamond. I mean, this would be sick too. Fuck. Yeah. So he either had me covered or was close, so we basically get felted or right there to it, and now we're in for 600. Not ideal. We then kind of play like a lot of small and medium pots. To no one's surprise, we tilt bluff with 7 deuce, and actually ended up value betting it twice with a pair of deuces on the flop, and then the guy hits his combo draw on the river, lose that. And then get a7, where a guy jams over my bet on the turn. We call and are right, and then lose a decent sized pot with queen jack, which leads us into our next hand, ace deuce. I opened to $15, definitely a little bit wide, but as I said, don't really care. I get one caller to a flop of ace 6 deuce. Now, I know this guy is tight as shit, so when he checks to me, I have 2 pair, I have the ace of diamonds. I'm going to check behind and try to let him catch up. The turn is the 5 of clubs. Fine card, he checks to me again, and now I think we really don't have any option. I obviously go for some value for $20, and he puts in the call. Love to see that. I would have hoped he would have bet an ace into me, so this feels like probably a draw or maybe some non-believing pocket pair like 10s or 9s. And the river's the 4 of diamonds. Now, I don't love that there's a one-liner to a 3, but he checks to me. Also, we have the ace of diamonds, making it less likely he was floating us with diamonds. And although I've already been trapped, we think, by that guy with the king earlier, I do think this is a spot to go for some value, especially since my image right now is that I'm tilted and I never have it. So I assemble quite the big bet of $80 and just get snapped off. I sheepishly show him the 2 pair and we're good. We scoop in a much needed decent size pot. Then look down at 10-6 offsuit, another really classic hand to go to battle with, if you will. We're on the button, there's an open to $11. Look, I'm trying to get some hands here, and $11 is just not that big in position, and I'm stuck. Surprisingly, we go 4 ways to a flop. That is a rarity here in Vegas, especially here at Mandalay Bay, where the action has been to a flop of 4 deuce king. God, I mean, we have backdoor straight draws through a 3 and a 5. That would be good. I do plan on folding though if it bets into me, but surprisingly, on a king high flop, the pre-flop raiser checks, and it checks around to me. Now, I actually think a stab isn't the worst idea in the world here. Since the pre-flop raiser checked, I think that probably indicates ace queen or a pair under the king. A guy after him checked, who had an opportunity after the pre-flop raiser checked. The only person who hasn't really shown their true intentions is Corbin on my left, and we all know I can bluff the shit out of him. So I think this actually could be a good bluffing opportunity, but I check behind. The turn is a 6 of diamonds, which now gives us some help against anyone that has a bigger pair, which could be out there. It checks to the pre-flop raiser, who now bets out for $15. A guy folds, and it's on me. Now, my read is that this guy's tight, and I really think that my read on the flop is correct, that this should actually be a raise or a fold, because I don't think he's checking a king with 2 hearts on board. This is queens, jacks, looking for protection, sometimes maybe a flush draw, so I think a raise is actually best, because I don't think we're good. But I chose the wrong option and put in the call. Corbin folds, and we're heads up to river of the 9 of clubs. Look, front door hearts miss, and he bets into me for $50. The amount of money I have lost over the years thinking, hey, the flush draw just missed. That means he has nothing. I think he's going to show me like a set, a slow played king. I just think this is value a lot of the time. So I put in a begrudging fold. Apologies for the shorter vlog. My bad. I thought it would be a lot longer. I didn't realize I didn't get as many Mandalay Bay hands as I thought I was going to. And I know I mentioned that this was actually supposed to be a Bellagio vlog. Apologies. There should be a pretty decently long 2-5-1-3 Bellagio session coming up next. And sorry for the lack of videos in general. First time I've ever done that. I was just kind of lazy and having a tough time with poker on the felt a little bit, so I really wasn't in the mood to edit. But should have regular videos coming out each week as I usually do moving forward. As always, if you guys could leave a like and a sub, it helps the channel so much. And if you have any comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I always read them, and I will see you guys next time.